and I think YouTube grabbed that like as soon as I went live and blocked the stream. I don't know. I just started the stream. Now I'm waiting for it to show up. Just started the stream. Okay, looks like it started up really well. At the beginning got clipped off. I think what happened last week was I was playing a DJ set for background music, and I got a copyright strike on it. So I think YouTube like interrupted the start of my stream because I was using copyrighted music, even though the people who made that music wanted us to play it and enjoy it. Hi, welcome to Track Feedback on Wednesday. What is going on, doink? So what is going on? I'm on now. Todd Mavis, thank you. Shepherds, we got Ben Hunt, we got I know Morton the Mindbender is on there before. Paul Robinson. Oh, cool. I got your track. The Sheps. Oh, Charles Franco. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So it's 12 o'clock. It's Wednesday. We're going to do track feedback. And then after this, I'm going to record an interview with Min the Universe, one of our newest Track Feedback Crew members who's making some progressive house or melodic techno kind of beats. And I'm excited for that interview. Remember, I'm looking for more people to interview. So if you want to do an interview, send me a message. Let me know, steve@mixitecture.com. If music has affected your life at all and become part of what you do as a human. We want to know what you do, how you do it, why you do it, how you got started, what obstacles you had to overcome in your path like a charging elephant, and just have a little chat. And people really like the interviews, and I have a good time doing them. Lag with audio video. What does that mean? I don't know. Let's go into full screen and start playing some music, and maybe the lag will get that little tiny bit better. So let's start off with my Mindbender. We got 2 remixes because he was on first. And then we're going to jump into some Todd Mavis. And let's just make sure we have the Ableton Spectrum set up so we can see the frequencies of what we're listening to, which really helps a lot when you're checking out low-end sound. So here we go. Random loop generator, Realize remix. I hope that's going to play. That play button doesn't look like it's going to play. Realize remix. And Morton, thanks for putting up the vocal processing chain. I'll read that off in a second. Oh.
Well, they say ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I think I want some of this, but I'm cursed with too much knowing.
Thanks for telling me about the stream.
And now it's really showing.
I'm totally cabled in on one machine. I'm not sure what else I could do.
So tell me that you see it. Please tell me that you see the way. 'Cause I can't be the only one who knows it's got to be this way.
So this is from the jam that happened when your gig was canceled last couple weeks ago.
And reach out for my hand. I will save you from the light, yeah, and take you to the promised land.
I like the beats and the groove in this one a lot.
It ain't about how much you can take.
Let's try this. Let's go to the other version and see what we can compare. There was a problem playing this track. What does that mean? Morton, did I grab the wrong version off Discord? 5 hours of drum programming. Okay. All right, this was like the classic acid sound, right? We can hear that right away. My upload and downloads are like 100 megabytes per second. It's like super fast.
Sometimes I think I want some of this, but I'm cursed with too much knowing.
All right, this is cool. The vocals up front. It's both tracks are presenting the vocal in the same way, surrounding it with different bass lines and beats.
I feel I've seen it all before. I'm sure we should have evolved by now. Can't be the only one, I'm sure. So tell me that you see it. Please
And Morton,
tell me that
both of
you
these
see
sound
the
like they're
way.
done already. Let me skip a little
'Cause
bit
I
ahead.
can't bend. Realize, see the truth. Realize, come on and see the truth. I can't be the only one who's giving you a clue. We can all look back in the sadness. Yeah, we can all find someone else to blame.
He's talking about
But
some
at
deep
the
stuff in
end
here.
of the day, you've only got yourself to teach you the ways of the game.
Cutting to the bone.
You don't have to be a winner.
OSP.
No, you don't have
I want to skip out to the
lose
end. I'm sorry to interrupt the track.
We'll see through that.
Coming in with the hi-hat shuffle. I like it. Track has a great feel. This one is long and smooth and continuous, like the Mindbender style. So there's a filter closing down at the end. That's me turning it up a little bit. That kick drum is just poof. There we go. I like that kind of backwards bass sound that's holding in the groove. It's like boop, boop. You guys hear that? It gives it like a rocking the boat feel, like doop, doop. That's super cool. Now let's compare again to the evolving snare mix.
You better come correct, don't come fake. We'll see through that.
So you can hear there is obviously no big dominant acid bass line sound going on.
Well, I've seen it all before.
Kind of a gummier, like sub bass layer.
Look into my eyes.
I like this feel.
Reach out for my hand.
The mid-range is so much more open. It's just the vocals and more space for the beats.
Take you to the promised land. Yeah, I can't be the only one.
Let me jump out a little bit.
Just to keep you under, you understand. What you need to do is overstand. You don't need to give in to others' demands.
I like that cymbal wash. And here we go with the line.
Realize, see the truth. Realize, come on and see the truth. I can't be
Skipping
the
out.
only one. We all deserve this feeling that we belong somewhere.
I'm gonna go up with the high shelf EQ a little.
So come on now, this is so appealing. Yeah, let me show you that I care.
I think in the mastering you could use a little shine on the top. Not crazy, but a couple dB of high shelf. Just get that little crispy nuggets on the hi-hats and the cymbals. Okay, that's back to flat. Oh, I like this mid-range stuff. What's going on here?
Let me show you that I care.
It has that like, kind of almost like an Afrobeat rhythm. Kick drum, bass line, mid-range synth, and a bunch of drum layers and a vocal. Done. Really simple, really good. Yeah, it does feel cohesive. Ah. Now that feels like a breakbeat. Okay, can you tell us what you're doing right here? Because it sounds like a flanger coming in on some jet plane type thing. Right here. What was that? And check out that kick drum and bass line. You can just see those bass line notes popping up. I love it. While we're in the end section, I want to read something. I was asking about how those vocals got to sound like that, and there's a thread in Discord under Mindbending Acid Tracks channel under the Random Loop Generator thread. For those nerds out there, here is the vocal chain. First EQ, remove the low frequencies and a bit of the boxiness, which might be around 250 or something. I'm not quite sure. Compressor, and getting a bit more of the same level before. So kind of glue everything together with compression. EQ after the compressor to make the vocal as clean as possible. I'm gonna guess that was like a mid-range boost to bring out the cleanness of the vocal. 5, auto-tune, chromatic mode set to 75%. Number 6, harmonizer, happy accident, detuned low so the vocals sound a bit like a vocoder. And I think that was what we were really picking up on, of like, the vocal sounds like, remember we were saying the first time it was like, sound like a bit crusher or something going on. And then after the harmonizer, there's a delay with ping pong, quarter note timing to get the vocal wider. And then finally, a reverb, wide room settings for even more width. A whole bunch of tips in there. I'm gonna review that process. First one, an EQ to remove the low end. Oh, a gate to get rid of some background noise because it was a mic signal. I think I forgot to say that. So that's like the cleanup phase and prep. Then we had compression to level the dynamics and get the whole signal so you can hear it consistently. A little bit of more EQ and auto-tuning and harmonizer. Let's say those are pitch and frequency sound design, like pulling out the good stuff. So first we clean out the bad stuff with the gate and the low cut, get the dynamics in control. Then we go into processing for tone and shape with a little bit of the fun stuff, like adding some boost on the EQ or, you know, auto-tune, harmonizer, whatever. And then effects at the end. And remember, do your delay first. You don't want to put reverb on a sound and then put that whole thing into a delay because the delay is going to be super washed out and all messed up. If you have 2 separate returns, you can put the sound into the delay, put the sound into the reverb, and you can even take the delayed effect and activate the send and put a little bit of the delay into the reverb also. So it really sounds like it's all one cool thing hanging on. And that is in Discord. You can check that recipe in the Mindbending Acid Tracks in the thread. Morton, great stuff, man. All I can think of to say is I noticed like a little bit of a high EQ boost made it sound good. And I like the structure of this evolving snare mix. It sounds fresh. You know, there's so much more space for the vocal and the 2 synth lines, like right around here.
Don't have to lose all the time.
It feels emptier and bigger and more like a vocal track. This one feels like,
I can't be the only one.
this feels like an MC on top of like an acid DJ set where it's like the voice is sort of, there's a lot of mid-range synth kind of pushing against the voice. It's still totally cool.
Yeah, we can all find someone else to blame.
Vocal sounds great. If you were gonna make this a track for like a singer, I think this version
And you'll see a change in time.
maybe presents the voice a little bit better. And this version is like a dance track with lyrics on top of it that come through the mix, but it's not like here's the singer on top. But that's neither here nor there. Oh, flanger on a cymbal that you stretch to be longer. What in the whole entire heck? How did you think of that? All right, everybody write this down. Take a cymbal, time stretch it, make it longer, and put a flanger on it to get this sound here.
Pretty sure.
That was pretty interesting. All right, let's keep it moving. We got a bunch of tracks for today. We're gonna go to Mr. Melvis and hear some rock beats with guitars and whatnot. Any questions? Okay, that's me pushing up the master level. Nice tom fills. Drums are sounding good. I can feel the kick drum on the bottom. Stereo toms. Hey Stuart, how you doing? And Gem X, how you doing? I like how the bass line is nice and deep too. It's like the guitars feel almost like they kick in like the Ramones or something, but then the bass line is really present. Hold it down. Oh, a ZZ Top feel. That's a good way to say it too. Drums are really nice and clear. And the lead guitar nice and bright on top. That's some good guitar work. Okay, I want to make a note that here's like the first guitar solo. Comes to an end around 147, I think. And then 142, a different guitar track with a different solo came in, slightly different tone. Super cool, like dueling banjos, dueling guitarists. This is another one where I feel like the drums should change at this moment. We're on that open hi-hat smashing kind of going on for a while since I think the beginning. And this would be a good moment to quiet down the hi-hat, get more on a closed hi-hat kind of feel for the duration of that other guitar solo. So when we change guitar tone, we change drum patterns and the song energy comes not down, but like shifts to a different layer. Let me just check the drum beats. Okay. Yeah. It's all like open hi-hat right here. And yeah, around a minute 40, get a drum pattern with a closed hi-hat to just like give us a break from the total open slash kind of thing. Yeah, the overhead drum cymbals are like totally has that groove, like I like those bass line licks. And then coming up here, that would be like 235 would be a good place to return to the open hi-hat thing. So from like 142 to 230, you know, like a minute in there, have the drums quiet down a little bit, and then you come back here and blast the ending. Yeah, tell John Bonham to chill out in the middle of the song. Yeah. I like those drum fills. They're so simple, they're wide, they're loud. And the rhythm is right for the beat. Kind of has that Allman Brothers feel of like the Endless Jam a little bit. Fading down. Yeah, man. I'm curious how long you put into that so far. That mix sounds great because we can hear all the elements. The drums are all there with the kick drum, the snares in the mid-range and everything are cool, and the cymbals on top. Like all the elements of the drum kit are coming through. And then when the tom fills happen, they're wider and they're loud enough that they really like announce a moment in the track, which is great. Bassline is clear. I can hear the kick. I can feel the kick. I can sense the bassline notes when they're doing little licks, which is cool. And then the guitar layers are nicely playing together. The leads are obvious. The rhythm guitars are obvious. And they're sharing the space. I mean, like you can tell which one is which and when they come in and go. So just change the drum patterns a little bit. And at the ending of the song, let's just think of like, does that fade down or is that right here? Yeah, I guess it makes sense to fade everything down together. For a little challenge, maybe try to build an ending that seems like what a band would do at a show. I don't know how that would happen, but I think there'd be some strobe lights. And like a leather vest. It's great, man. That track came together, minor details of the drum programming to give some variation in the beats, and that one's going to be ready to go. So how long did you spend on that? Bueller. Bueller. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm going to close that little window, and it's time for Shepherd's. And remind me that Until We Die, okay. I grabbed from Dropbox. Oliver sent me a Dropbox link with a track that we can play from QuickTime. So we're going to do this one until we die. Remind me we do that one from QuickTime, not on SoundCloud. And we can even do an A/B comparison. We can play the SoundCloud version and then play the QuickTime version that's a full-size wave when it's Oliver time. And you can get a listen on that. But first, so Shepherds. The whistle. Whoa, let me bring down my broadcast level. Sorry. Jeez. So Todd, that was another good thing. Your mix had a nice low level, plenty of headroom for mastering. I just noticed that. Shepard's coming in with the rumble. A day and a half. Dang. I like that reverb on the hi-hats coming in there. That new closed hi-hat could be a little louder. Just a little bit. Ooh, that's nice and papery. It's like Nice. All right, let me pull that out. That was the kind of gap that's like, it's not like a chunk of space that's an extra phrase after a 16-bar phrase or something. This is a song structure comment. So a lot of times people do something like 16 bars of beats, a little 4-bar transition, and then another chunk. This is not what we did. What happened was I noticed a sound was growing, and then at the end of the phrase, there was a little place where the beat dropped out before a new section started. So when you're making transitions, you don't have to like create a whole other empty space and fill it up with sounds. Sometimes the best thing to do is just cut the kick drum in the low end for like 2 bars out of a 16-bar chunk and tweak a sound to get there. So let's just listen to how we got here. Something in the mids is going to open up right here. It's growing, right? That was cool. Oh, and then coming in with the claps on the downbeats. Mindbender, good tip. Variation on the pitch a little bit. I like the mid-range stuff a lot. It's like this swirling, like. Oh, that's cool sound. Definitely those slurps. Two. Another one, 2-bar gap. Excellent transition. Those sounds you're making are so unique and cool and really take your track into its own space. Good stereo. Oh, this is awesome. All kinds of stuff getting morphed around in the middle there. I think I can see some EQ notches. Maybe around 315 and 3000. drums are sounding good. It has this overall buzzy thing of like a million nanobots going like bubbling and doing something. Yeah, a machine sound, dude. I was just thinking that right when I saw that comment. All right, pitch going down on those cymbals. That was cool. I like the swing too. Ticka 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 ticka. What do we got? 5.5 minute track. Oh, nice. And now it gets kind of empty in this part. At this part, I'm feeling like the bump part of the kick drum could be a little bit more of a pulse. The low end does have a very like steady feel. Was that the whistle? What I'm trying to say is the low end feels like boof, boof, boof. It's like a very like constant sort of low end pressure. And it might be worth doing, I'm not sure how you have your low end layers, but if there was a little bit more of like the bump of the kick drum, like the attack part of it, the boof, to have like a beat that's surrounded by the rumble. Maybe that's like a minor low end detail. Check it on a big sound system, get some other opinions from not people in headphones, because I know I'm right here. And the rumble has a nice like wave to it, like brr, brr. All right. Ah, Morton, cut around 800. Let's see if I can do that. Here's about 800. Boost and cut. Cut a lot. Flat. Boost. Flat. Cut. Yeah, around 800 is a weird zone because on drums it can be terrible, but on synths it can be beautiful. So that's where you want to go into the individual channels, maybe pull up a little bit of the bassline synth and then pull out 800 or 600 from the rumble parts. You just get like a little more definition on that. Grit, that's what I was hearing. And a bell cut around 4,000 hertz, so you can play it on a big system. I was noticing there was a little notch at 3.1. Doesn't that look like a little EQ notch right there? And to hear that, here's my EQ around 3K. Oh, you can see the waveform respond to that. Look at that. So that's a pretty wide curve on this board, but yeah, that bright, like, ear-piercing layer is around 3,000 or 4,000 hertz. Yeah, Shepherds, the stuff we're giving you here is mastering feedback, basically. Yeah, that sound, that scream sound. You see that right there, 1K, all right? Feels okay to me, but you want to be careful that on a big system with, like, if the tweeters are not balanced, if the system's not tuned, sometimes those frequencies can really cut through, like, ah! How does Shepherds end the track? Oh. So good. Great one, man. Again, what am I going to say? There's a couple little layers of percussion at the beginning. The first hi-hat that came in was cool. The second one that came in needed a little more volume. And then throughout the track, everything keeps moving and a lot of like stuff is modulating the little slurpy high frequency sounds, especially the transition over here. That was so great. It was like a smear, like a... That was super cool. Shepherds. Crushing it, man. I like how your tracks all feel like they come from the same world and they're all different, but you put them together in a set and you're going to have like a solid hour of just like, so keep going with that. I think Randy Adams we did on Saturday, right? Let's just take a quick little freshen up on this one. Yeah, right? Yeah, Randy, if that's I don't think Randy's here. If that was an updated mix, let me know, but let's keep going. So here we have OSP, Until We Die. So I've got this one on SoundCloud and on QuickTime. So let's start it off on SoundCloud, get to the beats, and then do some back and forth comparisons and just see if we actually notice a difference. Because if we do, all y'all better start Dropboxing some WAV files. Okay, so I got beefed up the kick, a little volume EQ changes, different ending. And now it's mastered up to -7 LUFS. Ah. That low end feels good. In fact, you know, I hate to press pause, but let's go right over to the wave, the QuickTime wave file, out to about a minute, about a minute. Let's check how the low end kicks in over here. Yeah, I'm hydrating, my electrolyte, vitamin, caffeine, and then some water. I'm not sure I heard a difference yet. One more time from SoundCloud. All right, clearly the high end is cut off at 16K. So let's stick with the QuickTime version. So we got more high end coming through. That's interesting. Which means from now on, if you want to have any kind of review of a final track, a mastered track, send me a WAV file or somehow share a WAV file that we can really listen to it in high quality version. Super groove. Like the beat keeps pulling you back. It's like, yeah, definitely smooth production. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What just happened right there? We went into a transition with a little synth warble and then a break. Synth comes in, modulators. And okay, I like to get recipes out, especially when tracks are so good that I can't find anything to recommend to make it better. Quick little recipe, bring in, so when you're coming up to the end of a phrase, end of a section, end of a minute or 16 or 32, bring in a little synth line, whoop, modulate it so it goes, which would be LFO mapped to pitch and volume and frequency and even pan position. all over the place. Speed up the LFO rate, and then there was some hand claps, and then the beat dropped out and the claps went into a delay, I think, and then we have a breakdown. So that's like multiple layers of modulation with rhythmic change, and then the beat drops out. Makes a really effective transition. So the low end drops out. We keep the atmospheric pads, the top loop, tambourine, hand claps. There's a high end layer of a kick drum, but yeah, good late night feel. Now, how are we gonna get back to the drop?
You know what I like.
Ooh, they tricked me. Okay. So the synth pad starts to open up. Right there.
You know what I like.
And a little double kick drum recipe, even though it was a high pass filter kick drum.
Gon' ride into it, die. You know what I like. Keep them running, every night. Set them levels, we up high. We gon' ride into it, die. You know what I like. Keep them running, every night. Set them levels, we up high. We gon' ride into it, die.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Was that a new cymbal crash right there? Feels like the drop comes in with a little bit of a whoosh, which is really good. It's always helpful to have a little high frequency sound when the beat comes back in, so the lows and the highs take you like. Oh, awesome, awesome. Drum break. What was that? So the lyrics are going, you know what, and the kick drum goes, buh, buh, buh. So good. It's also really cool how the lyrics don't come in at the beginning. You play the whole beginning of the track, you don't even know there's lyrics. And then when they come in, it's like, wow, it adds a lot to the track. I was noticing this last night. I was listening to some music at a little underground spot. And when there's a voice, it's noticeably different the way people in the room react, like compared to totally instrumental tracks. I think in general, tracks with a vocal appeal to a wider audience in general. Or if you're in a club, like people stand up and dance more when there's a voice. Kind of brings them in. I could be wrong, but I think so. Oh, Randy's here. Cool. Hey. Randy, is this an update on the exchange, or is that the same as Saturday? And Oliver, this is sounding done. I don't find anything that I would change on this. Maybe like give it to a different mastering person for a final master version, just possibly. Structure is totally cool. It's got this interesting part in the middle third. So the first third is like awesome playable intro beginning track. Then the voice comes in. It's like, whoa, it's even better. Then we're at the last third. Solid dance break. Really steady too. Ooh. That pad synth is like a pulse that you just, it's like a blanket. Sit right beside it. And the mix out. Randy, I don't see your new track. I'm not sure if you loaded it up yet. Look how bouncy that clap layer is. bass line notes down there. Oh, a nice mid-range synth line. Let's look at that curve again. I'm looking at these mid-range, like 1K and down where the synth is. What was that at the end? Somebody swallowing? All right, that gets the best ending of the day. I think it's really interesting. I don't know if I'm a total nerd about frequency and sound and feeling, but at the end where that atmospheric synth was the last sound we heard, the EQ curve had this really wide range of frequencies with a gentle curve and a bump in the middle. And my theory is, I'm just guessing right now, but I think that's why the track feels like it has such a harmonic home where you stay inside it and you're just like, woo, 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 woo. It just keeps you in the flow. Maybe because that range of frequencies is just so consistent all the way through. It feels like full, you know? There's like the bass line underneath, the whole mid-range body, and then little high frequency stuff. But the mid-range is just so present the whole time. I don't think I ever looked at a pad synth like that on the Spectrum and saw such a wide curve.
You know what I like.
Randy, let me check. Are you
them levels we up high. We gon' ride until it die. You know what I like. Keep them running every night. Set them levels we up high. We gon' ride until it die.
Yeah, Oliver, this sounds great. This sounds done to me. You might want to get it mastered by somebody else if you want to have a different master version or something, but sounds done, sounds playable, and I really appreciate that you sent me the Dropbox link with the WAV file so we could hear the full high end. That was a noticeable difference in what we saw on the Spectrum and what you could hear and feel in the high frequencies. It had like, I don't know if you could tell the difference. I'm not saying I could tell in a blind test, but once I saw the Spectrum and kind of listened and paid attention to the high end, it felt like, oh yeah, there is more up there, which is cool. Oh, you guys are doing threads over there. Okay, I'll try and grab that in a little bit. Oliver, where are you going with that one? Is that one done? It feels like it's done. I hope this is helpful. I feel like I mostly took recipes out of your track and didn't give you any helpful tips, but whatever you're doing sounds really, really good. Now, another one that just got done is James Sargent with Tekahedron, and Pivclit has this for mastering right now. So I think this is the final mix before mastering. Let's see what we got. I think that's a pre-master because I just had to turn it up. Yeah, we had a little conversation about the reverb levels at the beginning of the track. Cool, let's skip through. We heard this. Right, when all the synths come in, the reverb kind of fits together a little better. Has a bit more of a 90s kind of a feel, but still a deep late night vibe. Yeah, the chord progression's cool. I'm doing the happy face EQ master where I put the bass up, mid-range down a little bit, high end up a little bit. Yeah, that's the reverb on the snare. At the beginning of the track, it was like a lot of reverb, and later on it fit in better. Let's check out the ending. The reason I'm rushing through this one is I want to hear the mastered version, which should be out in a couple days. And I know he's not going to make any edits on this, so. Also a cool ending. So, James, good progress on that one. I'm glad that came along and it's done. And we should hear the master of that pretty soon, maybe next week. So let's keep going. Mindbender, nice woody kick, give space through the bass. Could boost the lows on the bass a little bit or layer with the sub or something like that. And speaking of sub layering, let's check out what Ben Hunt did on Some When. Looks like you grabbed some good notes about the low end, beefed up the kick, and let's hear what it sounds like. Oh, Pivclit on the scene. Fighting through the snow to get to track feedback. That was a nice swell coming into that beat drop there. Seems like the low end is working better. I'm gonna give it a little low end boost. Because I think you could get away with putting the kick drum volume up even higher, which you could also accomplish with like an 80 hertz low shell PQ on the kick and just boost the shell PQ, which is kind of the same as turning up the volume. Nice high frequency squiggle up there. Hi-hats are clear. Getting a feeling like the synths could be a little wider. Let me go mono here. All right, that's mono. That's stereo. So if you could do something to take the synth layers and get like the high end and the low end of the synths, the mids spread a little bit, just with pan position on the synth channels, I think there's space in the mix for that. I like the sounds. It's in a nice world of sound. Especially that one. Hold on. There was a sound that felt like a wah pedal going wicka, 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 wicka that I think developed leading into that breakdown. I've always said the best transitions come from the sounds that are in the mix and you find a modulator to tweak to make the sound grow and change and grab your attention. Right here. Wicka, 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 wicka. Totally waka 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 waka. All right, Mindbender, sweet lows. ARP feels a little dry. Okay, yep. Little reverb, ambience, maybe spread it wide, possibly ping pong delay. Yeah, so Ben, there's some room in the mid-range for some effects or stereo widening or something on the synths that's just gonna like bring it a bigger dimension. Now we got a vocal coming in. I like this strategy of waiting for like the halfway point to bring in the lyrics. Now I'm wondering what this track would feel like in the wave version with being able to hear above that top end. There we go. How did we get to that drop again? So there's a vocal thing happening. Little percussion break, a little bit of a riser, and then the vocal into the effect on top. Bop, 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 bop. Definitely works. I'm gonna skip back to the beginning and check the layers of beats. Okay, kick drum. So here we have kick, snare, hi-hat, right? Okay, one thing you might want to do is in the second half of the song, or the last third after that main dropout section, is add another percussion layer that's very similar to what's in already, but just another one. We heard that a bunch in, what was the OSP track? Listen to like the tambourine kind of things. Let's go through this from the beginning. Okay, open hi-hat and a little chicka. Now there's another shaker layer. Kind of a ride slash thing. Okay, so kick, open hi-hat, some claps. And pretty often during the track, there are small changes where a little extra shaker comes in, like or something else. And Ben Hunt, your track would definitely benefit from something like that coming in here. Because the main hi-hat thing is going tick 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 tick, and you could bring in just like a closed hi-hat that's going tick chick 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 or something to layer in the percussion. Especially like that after that little crash, it sounds like the bell of a crash. Just adding and subtracting percussion layers makes the track feel like you're going through sections. That keeps it more interesting. So a little variety in the drum programming will go a long way. That was a good talk, Bill. Because if you don't do that, it sounds like you're just using the same drum loop all the way through. And plenty of tracks have done that, and it can be okay, but when you start varying your hi-hats and percussion and shakers, then it's like, that's what people get really like clicked into in their ears. Oh, there's a few new percussion layers after the break, but maybe they're buried too much. Was there a little clap going? I think I heard a little bit of an extra clap or something. Whatever those new layers are, bring them up louder. And that might be a great place to do some parallel processing where you take a copy of those sounds, crank it down to death with the compressor, turn it up in the glue compressor, get that distortion on it, and then blend the distorted one back in. So you're making it louder by adding a copy that's a little fuzzy. That can bring out drums in a really kind of cool way. And another thing is like take the original hi-hat sound and mute that one and just replace it with like almost the same pattern but a different actual sound, a different actual sample. Which you could do inside Drum Rack where you make a new sound and just take the MIDI notes from one sound, move them up to the other sound. You get the same rhythm but a different tone. Simple little tricks. How do we get to the ending here? The build down feels really good. Getting emptier, kind of calming down. try different crash also, like have maybe 3 crash cymbals so we don't hear the same one every single time. Just another little trick. Yeah, the fade down. I remember that ending. That new sound came in and faded out to make the ending. That's a fantastic way to end a track with a new sound that blends up. Everything else fades down and the new sound comes up and goes. So you could even make that last synth sound louder at the very, very crescendo. And then it goes up into the delay effects. Yeah, super cool. Ben, good job. Good job on the low end. Noticeably different. I don't mean to be super nitpicky about the drum layers. I just think there's space for more variation. So I think for next time, it's going to make a huge difference if you get the mid-range synths wider with maybe some effects or maybe just panning the channels. That's going to be a really big effect. Kick drum could be a little louder, and then a simple variation with the drums. So maybe like one new hi-hat pattern or sound, maybe a different crash to alternate the crash texture or sound, and just do those simple edits. Take you 5 minutes. And that track is going to be ready for mastering. Let's move on. Are you insane? Coming from Danats, who's been cranking out the releases lately. Let's see what we got with the Danats. Sounds like there's a little crackle in that track. I got my mic muted. I like that synth that came in on the kick. Clap is nice and loud. Hi-hat on top could be a little louder, but let's see where it goes. Perfect, that's why. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like a Motown bass line. I don't know, Danats has some of this bounciest stuff. And that synth feels like it has a grammar structure. Ticka, 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 down, down, down. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, that new snare feels boxy. Which basically means the low-mid area of it feels like a paper box. And it's also a little loud for the mix. So I think to get that rhythmic effect, take some of the lows out and maybe pull the volume down just a little bit on that one hit. Right here, that little hi-hat thing seems out of place. Now it's okay, but when that drop, I mean, when the beat dropped out, and we have the synth, the bass, and the, I would totally get the percussion parts out right here, because this little like, that part's the star of this moment, and you don't need the little hi-hat in here. Now the hi-hat comes in and it's good because we're building back up. So when it goes down, take the beats out and then bring them all back up. V. All right, kicking it back in. Danette's getting people jacking with the beats. Small adjustments make such a big feel, you know, when there's one little thing that sticks out, it's like, but I like that layer. It's moving a little bit. And the vocal chops. Theme of the day apparently is having vocals come in halfway through the track, because that's what I'm hearing. I am rehydrating. Oh, that was cool. We had a couple rhythmic events, double kick drums, and then a crash. And listen to the sound of this crash. It's very dark. Kind of a background crash. Oh, now I hear it. Is you insane? See, that's great. All the drums are gone. We just can float with the synth world. .435. Keep the hi-hats out until 435 and bring them in with the clap. Then it'll be like the beat. The snare drum rush, the echo. Okay, I think the snare drum build is a little bit low in the mix. If you brighten up the high end of it and kind of ramp it up, like open the EQ as you're raising the volume of the snare drums as you're building, it can get brighter and brighter, like having the frequency go up and pull the snares to the front and make it really like bright. Try not to say sharp teeth grabbing your face like a cat, you know, but yeah, definitely push that snare drum rush harder, louder, higher frequency, and do it in a dynamic way so everything about it is going up in a ramp with frequency and volume. Because why not? There's nothing else competing with the highs right there. Yeah, super cool groove. The Danette's groove is like, you can always pick it out. The bottom's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's see how we get out of it. I don't want to rush, but we got a bunch more tracks. A couple at least. Nice and empty right here. That low end feels really good. And a nice long tail on the effects, which is cool. Danette's, the main thing that stuck out as wrong was that new clap thing. That one sound, I would start with just a high pass filter up to like 1,000 hertz, adjust the volume so that sound fits right in the rhythm, and then roll the filter back down to replace as much of the mids as you can to keep the body of it, because it's good for that. It's almost like a stick hit, like it's just sticking out of the mix. So I think that's the number one thing I would do. Use a snare roll, yeah. Well, what are we saying over here? I think this one works better than the normal style. Still totally Denats, but got much more flow. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. That one I just felt like it was like rolling right along the whole time. Some of the earlier Denats works were a little more choppy and kind of freestyle rhythms, but they're feeling like rolling right now, which I like. DJ Waters, Ostinato, and Tears the Poppy. That's a long one. I want to go to a Steve Knotts track right here. So first piece of news is, this is some news. I am starting the weekly workshops. People gave me some good feedback on what topics they want to do. I'm excited to show some of my own music, share my creative process, and then pull in little details from lessons that people request as much as I can. So I exported a piece of sound from a track I've been working on, and the workshop is going to be on Friday at noon. And I sent, I'll send another email to make sure. I scheduled an email to go out to make sure people hear about it. But I hope you all can come or at least watch the replay, and then this is going to go into a playlist of workshops. Next year, we may, change the date or the day of the week. It might be Tuesday if that works better, whatever. But for now, it's going to be Friday. And on Friday, I'm going to show you the sound design process to make this sound that you're about to hear. The main idea is, like I've been saying, the best buildups come from a sound that's already in your track, like a synth that you're already hearing, and suddenly your attention goes like, oh, that sound is changing. And you're tweaking some modulators, doing some automation, putting it into effects, and making like an event where the sound is not just the sound, it's like going somewhere else. That works so well. Like you can always, in addition, put on a reverse crash or a white noise riser or some classic element, snare drum build or something like that. But when you have your own synths and you're tweaking them, basically it gets back to the roots of electronic music where you have a synth and a drum machine. And when you have to have something happen in the music, I mean, you can't just stand there and press play and do nothing because it'll be an endless loop that never changes. So we would create music by tweaking stuff, and that's how you would get buildups and all those kinds of things. So I'm trying to like mimic the process of actually making music by tweaking sounds instead of like structurally analyzing when you apply the effect on the timeline. I like to do it in session view in the flow. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. This is a short little piece of music. Let's see what happens. Whoa, buddy. Okay, so there's a lead and a bass that are both going to change a little bit. Missing the crash. Steve did not get a crash on there yet. And then it goes on to what happens next. I'm going to play through that transition part again. Listen to what the lead, the track is called Jingle Tech. There's like a jingle melody. Listen to what that does and what the bass line does while I'm grabbing Randy Adams' track. Now, I don't want to give away the whole secrets, but there's some stereo action happening. There's some duration stuff happening. And then it goes into a delay. The delay carries over when the beat comes in and the actual sound gets muted. So a couple things you want to modulate related to time, pitch, frequency, pan position, and then put it into a delay with reverb, carry it over to where the beat drops, and do the next activity of the track. And with that bass sound where it goes, I was trying to feel like how when a propeller airplane goes past you at low altitude, it's like, I was sort of thinking about that. So those are some of the things I'm doing with sound design to create a feeling that gets your attention in the music using sounds that you have already, such as synths. So you don't have to automatically reach for a white noise rush riser. You don't have to automatically go for like a cliche sound. The best sounds come from when you have something in your track and you tweak it yourself. Nobody else is going to have that transition or that riser. and it's just going to feel more exciting. So we'll talk about that on Friday at 12 o'clock. Thank you for watching. And let's go with Randy Adams, Solar Crosswind, Indac Remix. I want to see my spectrum. No. Yes. What is happening in my brain? Okay, here we go. Go, go, go. Randy Adams. Wow, that's a cool beat, right? Nice. That's a nice rhythmic variation. New hi-hat comes in, takes the energy up. That's what you want to have. You don't make variations just for no reason. You do it because when the new sound comes in, it's like, oh, it's exciting. I like that wide sound. It's like, ticka, ticka, ticka. What was that little break? That was like a cute drum break. I don't know. It was like fun. Like do pop pop. Now we got some high frequency stuff. And did you say this is going out on Bebop? Bebop Records or Bebop Music? Really cool space. I feel these like synth reverbs up there. All right. Is there a mid-range sound creeping in? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. What is that? I like how that sound came up super sneaky. Wow. Good sounds, man. The low, sub, the mid-range clicky kind of bass, and the synth on top. Those three really fit together nicely. How do we get to the drop? All right, so that's the technique of emptiness to bring back the beat, where there's stuff happening in the breakdown, and then like fewer and fewer and fewer things happen, where you create the dramatic silence or the pregnant pause or whatever, and then drop the beat. I think there was one little tiny sound in there. I want to hear that again. Okay, there was a little hit like tick-kunk. Those I think should be louder. Yeah, those 3 little hits, make those louder. And then this high frequency thing that comes in is so cool. It's great in techno when you have a 1-bar loop that contains a call and response. Super repetitive, keeps you going in there. An electrified dulcimer. Yeah. Ow! What's that? That high frequency? I love when techno has one weird little sound that comes in. It's like... This track is fun, man. What is going on with the clicky? It's like super wide and super clicky. For me, that makes the whole track. We heard it. Let me go back right here. It's like nice and wide. And mixed in with the drums, it just gets this whole overall effect. It's like... I'm digging it. What was that kind of staticky thing here? That high frequency thing, was that a little bit like a snare drum, like a synth static snare or something? That didn't... I see what that sound was doing. It's in the right position, but it wasn't loud enough or changing that much. If you could make that sound ramp up and get louder or do something a little bit more noticeable, might work better. Yeah, that. That high frequency washy thing, a little louder, a little more highs on there. Oh, this part is awesome. Coming in with the ride cymbal at the ending. This is good, man. All the sounds are in their own space. The mix is nicely balanced. Everything seems to be working. A couple of places where you need a little sound louder in the transitions, but mostly it's working. Distorted snare rolls. Yeah, so a little more high frequency on those, a little bit louder. And it just keeps hitting, man. That ending might catch people by surprise because we go from the full beat. Yeah, if DJs aren't ready for that, they're going to run out of record and they're not have the new mix ready. You might want to, I don't know how you play these in a set, but to be like a traditional track, you put on like just the kick drum and the beats and some weird little synths and stuff for another 16 bars, just so the track doesn't, when you're playing, you're like, oh my God, I have 2 seconds left. I just ran out of record, and you don't have your new mix all the way in. I could use another 20 seconds on this track. Maybe actually I would cut out the mid-range bass and just have the sub, the kick, and the beats that are happening right here. I mean, I know everybody's, mixing digital files and you can loop anything you want, put in your cue points, but I knew you would say that. Okay, so shut up, Steve. All right, good. So we're all good on that. And now the moment everybody's been waiting for. DJ Waters, who is, I think, on an airplane right now, internationally hopping around from place to place. I'm going to turn down my master. And this is DJ Waters' bringing it all the way down slow to only a barely creeping along turtle pace of 152 BPM. Let's see what we got. Yeah, stupid DJs, all they do is drink Red Bull. Yeah, Randy, that track sounds good. All right, I'm going to push my master up to here. Let's see what we get when the beats come in. I like this chord progression. It's remarkably musical. You know, it's like actual, like, little chord cycle, little melody. Yeah, let's see if this kicks up into the red. I think DJ Waters went to Tenerife. Is that right? Okay, that bass part is a little low. That felt like a ground loop in the system going. Yeah, that bass line part, when that comes in, needs to be more clear because we're getting murky here. Kick drum is good. Yeah, I'm waiting for some high frequency percussion now. Sweep, all right. Did you see that sweep? Ooh. All right, so the main body of the track, I'm not sure how much time you spent on this yet. The main body of it feels like it doesn't really drop because there's like an absence of high frequency percussion to be like something like a change, right? Like it comes in over here. And the percussion is really low behind that big synth stack. And right here, there's a little upbeat. Something to be like, or like a high, like, so percussion layers could use some development. There's something interesting happening at the end though. That's cool. Little vocal delay. And right here. There's a moment right there where it feels like a psytrance, like I would take the reverb down because when the reverb is so big the whole time, it keeps the percussion feeling kind of echoey and far away. And I really like this clicky bass feel right in here. Right here. If you can get that bass line thing. pull up that bass line more of like the brightness of the bass line, so it's like really working with the kick. That's a cool track. All right, cool ideas in there. So the beginning takes a long time to get to. I can see what you're doing. So you're playing around with sound layers and ideas and everything. My favorite part of the track is definitely right in here. Like the stuff that Jesper's making, the Tenka tracks. There is such a cool space of like around 150 BPM, faster than techno, you know, that where the bass is really tight and kind of plasticky in between the kick, and it has like a percussive like ticka 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 ticka, which you got going on right there. And the lead melody too. It's like spacious and heavy and deep and bright at the same time. So that sidetrance moment at 4 minutes and 20 seconds, Mr. Waters. Personally, I think you should focus on that being the genre of the track and have that be like the main cool section. You know, do like a nice long melodic thing to get there. And then in this part, that went on for kind of a long time with that lead synth really huge and not feeling like the beats were kicking in. So you got good ingredients. The mix is actually really good. We can hear all the layers and identify them, and it's not terrifying or anything. And then at the end, what did we do here? Slowing it down, just in case anybody thought they're beat matching. Nope. Cool, super creative, and good job exploring outside of your genre. Yeah, 1:30. All right, cool. Thanks for hanging out as always with me for track feedback. We're gonna end up with Paul Robinson's "Tears of the Poppy" remix, and see where this goes. Oh, I don't like that crackling. And then I got to get out of here because I'm going to prep for my interview with Min the Universe, who came from an interesting background before doing music. But you'll have to watch the interview to find out. And again, if you're watching this and you're available, please let me know. I would love to schedule an interview, probably in January, because I have 3 already in December and it's the holidays and stuff. Maybe if you got some time, let me know. Maybe we could work it in. But talking about what you do with music, how your life has changed with music, what you had to go through to get into music, and all kinds of stuff like that. It's not about who's famous or who's rich or who's got a million releases. It's like, how are you working with music in your real life to do something creative in the middle of the chaos that we all face on a daily moment by moment basis. And we have a good time talking. This is cool. Is Paul still here? Yeah. It sort of like got to the beat faster, right? The beat came in before like a super long time. I like that modulation. That sounds like LFO mapped to filter. Oh, you're here. Good, good, good. I like that synth. Okay, that could go into a delay. Maybe there was a little delay on there? If you could have a little bit louder of a delay where that synth goes whoop, whoop, whoop. Detail, but would be fun. Good groove, man. I wonder if said this a couple times today, but a little bit of high shelf EQ on those drums. But you know what? After doing that comparison with the OSP track on the WAV file versus SoundCloud, I'm really noticing maybe that all the time when I talk about, possibly all the times when I'm telling people to put more high shelf on the drums, that could be related to SoundCloud having a 16 kilohertz cutoff. So we got to work with that. Okay, so comment from Kid Piv reminds me of the beat from the old Spangle. Work on that as the main thing. This sounds cool. That zoop. Nice and deep. Yeah, SoundCloud removes the highs. All right, I gotta stop telling people to turn up the high frequencies. Shit. All right. This part feels kind of like a holding pattern, like we're waiting for something to happen. Okay, then we go into this. Wait, was that a glitch? What was that? That was a little weird where the bass line sort of got off sync with the drums section. And now we're back in the drone bass. You might want to take out some of those bass notes at that transition, because it sort of felt like, oh, what was happening? Now it makes sense again. And now the bass line is back. I'm not sure it makes sense to go back into the drone super ambient part right in this little transition thing, because here we're like, okay, we're in a break. There's the beat. The bouncing bass is there. That one bass line note was off. Now we're in the drone thing. The vocals and the fast bass line comes in. So if you could do something to keep the bass line consistent in that section, 518 out to 550, 518 to 547. I would recommend you keep the bass line consistent and not go back to the slow drone bass line, especially with such deep chill out music. Once that drone comes in, you want to stay in it for like, 10,000 years or a whole minute. My impression, the flow. Vocals sound beautiful. Ooh, this is good. Yeah, definitely don't go back into the drone part if you have this coming later, because this is still like really energetic. This sounds great. This is my favorite part of the track right here. Okay, good. Rough mix to get some ideas. Cool. Yeah. Let me get out to... This is cool, man. You got the layers coming together. I know there was great sounds to work with at the beginning, but I like what you're doing with it. It feels like it's flowing and feeling good. So did I get to random loop generator, Randy Adams, OFB. Cool. I think that's going to do it for track feedback today. Wednesday, 138. We are 138. Good. It makes me so happy to see people chatting, doing remixes with each other's music, and sharing comments and everything. Seriously, track feedback is super fun and keeps me going at moments when I want to lay on the couch and play online chess and do zero. This is what it's all about. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for your updates. You are completely welcome to send me WAV files as Dropbox links or Google Drive links or something like that. And I can grab them and play them from QuickTime so we can hear the high frequency response. Apparently, it has now been proven that SoundCloud has taken down the high frequencies, and a lot of the times I guess your hi-hats might be totally okay in your mix, but I can't tell. We can't tell because coming through SoundCloud, we're losing the super highs, which we understood. And of course, track feedback is mostly about the feel of the music with the song structure we talk about all the time, the sound design, what's going on, and the mix and the final mix details. We can't really do like a mastering session on a live stream with the YouTube compression and the SoundCloud and everything, but we do get a lot of good mix notes, and I really enjoy doing it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Next one is Friday at noon. We're going to do a sound design workshop, and I think it'll be less than an hour. I want to just show you a couple techniques of what I do and explain how they work into production. The main idea is that sound design is not just something you do once and then leave there forever. It's like you get the sounds, but then as you tweak them and explore the parameters to play with, which is the fun part of having synths, is tweaking knobs. When you go through those moments of exploring what you can do to tweak the sound, those become episodes in the track. So you can be like, all right, there's going to be a part of the track where I tweak this filter, open it up, make a huge build up, and everybody goes crazy, puts their hands in the air. Like, remember that. Like, okay, that filter tweak section is going to go here before the main drop. And then you can have a part where you like build the filters down and it goes like, and that can be like the ending of the track where we're in that bass and drums groove. So the sound design actually leads into the song sections by giving you ideas for how the track feels. And it's really useful. I like to do this in session view where you capture different ideas in sound design and later build them into the arrangement where you're going to have the intro, the build up, the climax, the peak, the build down, the mix out, and everything else. See you dudes. Yeah, if your computer would crash if you tried to master and stream. By the way, who knows how to replace a MacBook fan? I think it's time to do that because this fan is super loud. And I don't need that in a stream. So that's it. Friday live stream at noon, only on sound design. Saturday at noon, next track feedback stream. And got a couple other things coming up for the December holiday season. We're going to do a holiday sale with discounts. And for anybody who's interested in helping me promote, I really appreciate it when you share links and tag me in other people's questions in the Ableton forums. I'm about to open up this affiliate center, which means you go to the members site, you grab a link to one of the products, but it's a custom link that's tied to your profile. And then you can share that link. If somebody comes in and buys a course after visiting your link, you can get a percentage of the money. I'm totally happy to do that with payouts and everything. And the really cool thing is you can share the free presets. So you don't have to be a salesman. You don't have to be spammy. You could just share the free presets and be like, hey, here's a place to get free presets. When people come in from your link and then they buy a course or a lesson, you still get credit for the sale. So it's a really easy way to help spread the Mixitecture stuff, help support the site, help me make some money to keep this whole thing going, and possibly make a little cash for yourself. So that's going to be going as soon as possible. Maybe you want to be interviewed on your channel one day. Yeah, I would love to do an interview. Absolutely. Please send me a message on Discord or something. Let's set that up. I love talking to people and doing interviews and stuff. That's super fun for me. And if we can promote it both directions, that'll work. Pivclit, I would love to open up my Mac and clean it on a day when I'm not streaming, maybe tomorrow. Blah, 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 talking all day. Let's take it out with a little bit of music that is super cool to listen to.
You know what I like, keep them running every night, set them levels way up high.
Let's hear this drop one more time.
To it die.
Take this track with you, man, all day in the vibe.